What is going on YouTube? Welcome to D&CGaming Legion. My name is Chris, and in today's video I'm making a guide on Fuse Zamasu and Vegito Blue. Now I'm aware this guide is rather overdue. I know. These characters came out like a month or so ago, and yeah, I know. What am I doing? I'm just doing this for the sake of fun because I really have nothing else to do today, and I feel like making it. So we're going to start off with Fuse Zamasu. If you want to see Vegito Blue, then skip ahead in the video. So I have put in quite a number of hours playing as Fuse Zamasu online and fighting other players, and if there's one thing I've learned about this character is that he's about pure power. He can be very dangerous when he gets on the offensive in a fight, so I'm going to show you how to do that. So let's start off with one of the most important things about him is getting that stamina break combo. So all you have to do is pretty much do his light attack combo. Just keep mashing the, X button, or light attack button, and do it just like that. That's all you gotta do. This will also work for the heavy stamina break, so that's one way of doing it. You could also press the heavy attack, and then start pressing the light attack button, and you'll get to the stamina break part a lot faster if you need to do that. The other way of landing a stamina break is doing the knockback, circling behind them, and then doing that. And yes, it will also work for the heavy stamina break as well. Now, I'd also like to talk about a very important combo to use when you're playing this Fuse Zamasu. It's very crucial to his playstyle. So what you have to do is just hit the light attack button multiple times. Right when you see him throw out those blades, then you start mashing the heavy attack button. Now, what's important about this combo is once you hit them with the blades, and then start hitting them with the, I guess Zamasu's using the force to hit them, we'll say, the opponent cannot snap vanish out of this. They just simply have to take the hit. So this is a very good combo to potentially end a match, because if they can't snap vanish out of it, then they die. And at the same time, it could force them to use an evasive skill if they want to escape it, which means they have to waste 3 bars of stamina, which is good for you. Now we're going to talk about why this combo is so good when I show you some super attacks, which are going to work on next. So his first super attack is Divinity Unleashed. This is similar to maximum charge, except the charge is slower, but if you charge it long enough where you could fill at least 1 bar of ki, then this will activate a little buff that makes it where you generate ki at a much faster rate whenever you're doing damage or taking damage yourself, allowing you to pretty much get access to all your ki bars very quickly with Zamasu, who already does have a pretty high amount of ki. This is very important because you want to see if you can get away with this buff right away in the beginning of the fight. That way, you could have all your ki bars ready to go, so you can use super attacks and ultimate attacks whenever you need to. Next is Holy Wrath. So, this fires a little sun orb that does a pretty good amount of damage, and one way to land it is either do a knockback or do a combo that sends them flying back, such as that, and then fire it. This move can also be charged up to 3 levels, and each level increases the damage by quite a large amount, as you can clearly see. The thing is, trying to hit them with that is a little difficult. Of course, you can go for a heavy stamina break, and then you could charge it, and then hit them with it, but obviously it might be better to fire an ultimate. So, I mean, it's a good way to finish off your target. I mean, it only costs 1 bar of ki, so if you only have 1 bar of ki and you manage to pull off that heavy stamina break, yeah, you can hit them with that, but for the most part, you're going to be hitting them with it after like a knockback and then throwing it like that for the most part. Next, we have Blades of Judgment. Now, this move is only good if you combo into it. If you just fire it like that, the blades get fired at a very inaccurate way, so they will most likely not hit your opponent. But if you do a basic little combo like this and then fire it, they home in on your target. You could also hold the button down to make the blades fire longer. So it does a pretty damn good amount of damage for what it's worth. His next move is Lightning of Absolution. This move has quite a number of uses to it. So, he fires this little blast in front of him, and he also fires 2 lightning strikes after. Now, you do not need to necessarily hit with the blast in front of him to hit with the move, but if you do hit with the blast in front of you, you will deal additional damage. But you could still use, say, a knockback, and then fire the lightning, and it will connect. Or you could do like this type of combo, and then fire the lightning, and it will connect. Now, one cool trick you could do is do this knockback, and then fire it like that. that will hit with all 3 lightning blasts. Now they can snap vanish out of this. However, one thing worth noting is that if they do snap vanish behind you, the additional 2 lightning strikes will actually track them and could potentially hit them after they snap vanish behind you. If they don't realize it and they try to attack you, whatnot, they will probably get hit by the lightning. So they'll take some damage, and they'll have wasted 2 bars of stamina, which works out in your favor. Now, going back to that combo I showed you before, where you do this, you could follow that up with the lightning. You could also follow it up with the Blades of Judgment. So both of those work. The lightning one will do slightly more damage than the Blades of Judgment one. However, the lightning is faster. So, because look how fast, it does its damage really quickly. So, the lightning could be used to potentially end a fight. If your opponent's about to get, like say, a bar of stamina back to use, say, their evasive skill, and you fire the lightning, you could potentially kill them before they get that stamina bar back to use an evasive skill. Meanwhile, with the Blades of Judgment, as you can see right here, they're stuck in like look how long that takes for the damage to actually be done. That gives them time to use their evasive skill and potentially save themselves in a fight they might have lost otherwise. The only difference is the lightning costs 2 bars of ki, so you might not have always access to it. But then again, Zamasu has quite a number of key bars that he could use, and combine that with his Divinity Unleashed charge move, and he will most likely have most, if not all, of his key bars filled and ready to use at all times. So there is that. Now, to be fair, you might be able to fake someone out with the Blades of Judgment and get them to waste that bar of stamina, or 3 bars of stamina to use their evasive skill. But then again, you could also do the same thing with the lightning. But then again, the lightning will cost 2 bars of ki, as I said. So either way works. But now let's talk about his ultimate attack. So this move costs 3 bars of ki, and does a shit ton of damage, as you can clearly see. So I'm going to show you a deadly combo that works pretty well. Alright, so I break his stamina. And I do this combo that knocks them on the ground. And then I fire Divine Wrath Purification. That does a nice chunk of damage. And if they still have stamina bars to refill, you can then follow it up with the lightning move after. So as you clearly see, that does quite a bit of damage and will no doubt end a fight if they have less than 2 bars of health left. Now, as I said, you could also do it this way. You could do the stamina break like that, and then do the very same combo. That works too, obviously, but that won't do as much damage, but you'll be able to fire the ultimate off, at least, if they have a very little amount of stamina to recover. And there's also something else worth noting about this ultimate. If you do a knockback and then fire it immediately, it potentially could connect. Now, I say potentially because there is a catch, okay? If we set the AI to guard from start, and we knock him back and then fire this move, he has just enough time, keyword being just enough time, to hit the block button and block the move. So, it's not guaranteed if you do a knockback to fire the move, or if you do this combo and then fire the move. However, it will force them to block, otherwise they're going to take damage. So, you can force them to drain stamina. So, let's take a look at this for a second. Alright, so right now he doesn't have that much stamina, right? So I do a knockback, I throw this out, and he blocks it. And look at that, his stamina's broken now. Now, if you have enough ki, and you do that combo, you can hit him with that, depending on how much stamina they have to recover, but it's possible against, say, Vegito or someone else who has a lot of stamina. Now, let's say you don't break their stamina, and you force them to block it. you're still forcing them to waste stamina. Because let's take a look at just how much stamina this move drains if they try blocking it. Pretty much 3 key bars and a half. That's pretty good, if I'm being honest. Because if it doesn't break their guard and they barely have stamina left, well, you're at an advantage right now. So as you can clearly see, Zamasu has quite a number of options for dealing with his opponents. What you want to do is use that combo very often to force them to use their evasive skill, or at the very least you're going to get a lot of free damage in and they're going to have to just deal with it. Sometimes you will have to be forced to use back hits very often because they might try snap banishing before you can get to the part where they can't snap banish. So you're going to have to adapt to that accordingly, but pretty much that's really it. Anyway, moving on to Vegito Blue next. Alright, now here we are with Vegito Blue. So, just like with Zamasu, allow me to show you Vegito Blue's Stamina Break combo. Alright, so he does have some Stamina Break combos, but they are a little weird. So, your best interest would be to do the knockback like that and just do that Stamina Break. That works pretty well. And of course, it does work with the heavy as well. Alright, so here's a quick combo. This does work, but they have to be on the ground. Thankfully, the combo does push them towards the ground, so you can land that. That's one way to land the heavy stamina break, and then you could do Spirit Sword right after. The thing is about Vegito Blue is you don't really have to break their stamina, because he has a very unique combo that allows him to do a very certain thing. And it's his heavy, light, heavy combo that goes like this. This combo will allow you to land a certain move that we're going to talk about very shortly. Alright, so let's get to his super attacks. Well, he's got maximum charge, which we all know what that does. He has Meteor Crash, which can do a nice chunk of damage at the sacrifice of Ki, but it lasts for a pretty long time and does a nice amount of damage. It also recovers quicker with the one of the more recent updates they've had with this game, so you can do it, and if you miss, and your opponent, say, tries to attack you, you can recover from it faster. Next we have Spirit Stab. This is a pretty cool move, because you can do like a combo like that, and then hit with that. It's unblockable, does a pretty nice chunk of damage. It's a very good move for poking your opponent and faking them out. You can go up to them like this, and then do that, if they try and perfect block you. It can be used to finish all fights, because it does a pretty good amount of damage. It's a very versatile move that can be used with pretty much nearly any of Vegito's combos at the very end. It's very fun, it's very stylish. I mean, it doesn't work for that one because of the angle, but you get the idea. Next we got Savage Strike. This move's kind of like God Fist, but is a little different. For one, the camera angle doesn't zoom in when you hit them. And if you double tap the move, he appears above them and does a ground pound. That does a little more damage than if you just did the normal version of the move like that. Now, you could do a knockback and then do that. That works. You could also do a knockback and do that. That also works. They actually can't snap vanish out of that if you do that, which I think is a little cheap. I personally think you should be able to snap vanish out of that. But regardless, that is a legitimate combo. And let me show you actually a pretty cool combo you can do with that. Do this. Oops, I screwed up there. Do it like that. That looks really cool because you just ground pound them right back into the ground as you knock them up in the air. Alright, so moving on to his ultimates. Now, Spirit Sword and Final Kamehameha, which are both his ultimates, they're nothing new. However, let me show you a really cool trick that you can do with Final Kamehameha that allows you to land the move without needing a stamina break with one of Vegito Blue's combos. So all you have to do is do the heavy, light, heavy combo I showed earlier, and then fire Final Kamehameha, excuse me, right during a certain point in the combo, which I'm about to show you right now. After you knock them up, immediately fire it, and bam, there you go. Easy damage, no stamina break required, and it works, and it looks really, really damn cool. So that's part of the reason why I say you don't really need to do a stamina break with Vegito. You just gotta get your opponent low enough on stamina so they can't snap vanish out of that, and then you're good. Of course, if you do land a stamina break, you could always fire Final Kamehameha as well, but you don't have to, is the point. That also works for Spirit Sword, I might add, as well. Honestly, I think that's really all I need to cover with Vegito Blue, honestly. He's actually a relatively simple character to use. He's very powerful, he's very deadly, he's got a lot of stamina, a lot of ki, a lot of health. He's just a very simple and effective character to use. He's definitely one of the best, so get out there and have fun with him. Well, I think that's the end of this guide. I'm going to be taking both these characters online and fighting my friend Dan, and getting some payback for what happened last time we fought. And I'm gonna make sure I win both of these fights, especially with Vegito Blue. I need to kill Danny with that final Kamehameha combo. But thank you for watching. Again, this video is just way overdue. I just made this for the sake of fun. So if you made it this far in the video, thank you. And I'll see you guys in the next video. This is Chris from D&CGaming Legion signing off.